Okay, so in the previous video we looked at how to work around AutoCAD like for the very first time, and we managed to draw some sample drawings. So in this video we are going to continue with these drawings, but I'm going to show you how to use the object snap settings and the polar track settings, or the tracking settings. Okay, so you notice that each time you draw you see some green um, you see some kind of green cursor. Okay, so that is usually because of the snap settings that you've set. Okay, you can decide whether you want to draw a line from a certain point and you want that line to snap at another point. So those are the snap settings I'm talking about. So that is what I'm going to show you in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and create some random object. So what I'll do is to move this one a little bit away from here and zoom in a bit on it. And so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So simply type the move command. You only have to write MOV and then press enter, and then you specify the base point, whichever point you want to use as your pickup point. So let's move it over to somewhere here. Let me just put it here. Okay, yes. Now with snap settings, if you need to okay, let me get rid of the grid because the lines are not so clear. So to get rid of the grid, simply turn that on or off. Turn it on or off. Okay, so yeah, now I want to draw, supposing I want to draw a line from this point to a random point, maybe here. So what I will do is to go to the line tool and focus on that point. You don't need to focus very much at that point. You simply need to move, select the line tool and then move your cursor as close as possible to that end point. Okay, so the reason you're able to see that green square thing that says endpoint is because of this setting. There's a setting called under object snap settings right over here. So there's this endpoint. If it's ticked, it means you can draw an object from an endpoint of another object. Okay, if you are drawing a line, you can draw another line starting from the endpoint of another line. So the same applies to these other ones. If you want to draw a line from the midpoint and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and first turn these off. So we can turn them on one by one. Let's look at least 5 settings. So the first one is endpoint. So I'm going to draw a line from this endpoint to maybe somewhere here. Let me just randomly put it maybe here. Let me just put it here and go down a distance of what? I'm not even sure. Let me just go down a distance of 10. So 10 downwards. Then now you notice I can't snap at this point, yet I want to for instance, if I try to snap, it may not be exact, so it's somewhere in between. If you try to zoom in, somewhere in between. Okay, yeah, that is because there's a setting that I need to use in order to snap at that point. So just press Ctrl Z to undo that point. So if I want that line to be perfectly horizontal at that intersection, then I need to either activate apparent intersection or nearest, okay, or even intersection, this one. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, so now you can see that green cursor thing that focuses at that means intersection. So you can just click now as as soon as you click, it will be exactly at the intersection. Okay, so let's go ahead and escape, and let me try to do another arm at the bottom. So I'll simply well, I'm just drawing a random figure, so I'll simply start from here, and I'm not very sure what distance this is, so let me just measure. I'll measure this and this. I want to draw something that is perfect, so that is 40 millimeters. Okay, so I'll draw from here. I'll draw another arm, make it 40, so simply go downwards to 70 degrees. So I'll type 40, done, and then we go leftwards, went 10, so left, the angle has to be 180. Okay, because this is 0, this side 90, then 180. Okay, because we are measuring angles going counterclockwise, so it has to be 180. Yeah, so we want that line to stretch for 10 millimeters, so just simply type 10. When we go up, we are using intersection. There, done. Now simply press escape, done. So I'm going to make 2 more arms so that I kind of make it like a fan of some sort. Don't worry, it's just a random drawing. So start again, 40, up by 10, that's at 90 degrees by 10, then come this side, simply snap. Now 1 more arm here to make some kind of spiral. Okay, so upwards type 40, we go rightwards 10, should be 0 degrees, so 10. Now we go down by the same amount, 40, so simply snap there and escape. Okay, so now we have something of that sort. Now what I'm going to do is to I'm going to add a circle to it, I think, or not. Okay, yeah, let me just add circles at the end to make it smooth, and then we'll trim off whatever parts we don't want. Okay, or better still, let me just copy this and modify it elsewhere. I'm going to just copy, select the whole thing, type CO, enter, so we select the base point and copy from that point. Let's just put it here. Okay, so you can make as many copies as you want by simply clicking, but those are enough copies. Escape. Now let's modify this and put like a circle. So go to the circle tool. We want to choose circle and radius, but we are not going to measure the radius of the circle. We just need to determine the center of the circle. I want to make the end of this smooth, so I want to draw a circle whose center is somewhere in between this line. So in order to do that, as you can see, it's only end point from which I can start a circle. Even when you attempt to draw it in the middle, it will always start at the end point, because you need to activate this setting, midpoint. So after activating that, go back to the circle, choose circle center, then you have that green triangle that says midpoint. Now you can click circle, and you want it to stretch up to the end point, so you just wait, you stretch until you see the green cursor saying end point, and you snap. Okay, it's as simple as that. Now instead of drawing circles here and there and there, we can simply copy this circle. So simply select it and type CO, copy. So now we are going to copy, taking the midpoint as the base point. So we copy from the middle, paste in the middle of that line, paste in the middle of this line, paste in the middle of that line, and escape. So we have something like a circle or something, or whatever that is. Okay, yeah. Right now we need to okay, let me just trim out a few things, and then yeah, hopefully that will make some sense. So let me just go ahead and highlight this, type trim, hit enter, and we're going to trim this, and okay, you can simply delete that. So I'll maybe get rid of this, get rid of that, trim that, we'll delete that, delete, trim, escape. Now we can delete these, so we can simply select them one by one and then press delete on the keyboard and delete. Okay, so now we have another kind of object. Well, I don't know what that is, but it's some kind of object. Okay, now I'm going to show you another setting. It's called the nearest Osnap setting. Okay, so for that, suppose you want to draw a line from somewhere here. You're not very certain where exactly, but close to this region, not exactly in the middle, not far from the middle, somewhere around the middle. Okay, so there, if you get your line tool, make sure this setting is active, checked, nearest. Then you can come over here and you will see that infinite sign, the inverted infinite sign, or something like the hourglass sign. Should be green, and there should be a caption saying nearest. So simply click and the line will start from that nearest point. Okay, yeah. So same thing, if you want to snap at the other point, we could still use well, in this case there's intersection, there's so many other things, but if you don't want to be horizontal, you want to snap at a certain angle, then nearest should be activated, or intersection, that sort. So you can snap there, you can use nearest to snap there, you can use it to snap there. So actually you can use nearest to snap at any angle that you want, or at any inclination that you want. Yeah, otherwise it would be hard with the other settings. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get rid of this, get rid of that, then let me put that line back there. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to show you one more setting, and that is using a tangent. Okay, we can learn the others as we go along. So using the tangent setting, okay, so we should go ahead and deactivate nearest. We don't usually need nearest unless we need to use it. So always make sure nearest is turned off, otherwise you get a wrong drawing. It will interfere with whatever you're planning to do. If you meant to draw a straight line and nearest is active, you might end up not having a straight line, but a line at what I meant is you might end up not having a horizontal or vertical line. A line might be tilted because of nearest. So always make sure nearest is turned off. You only use it when you need to use it, otherwise turn it off. Then these other ones do not interfere as much. Okay, so now we want to draw. I'm going to put two circles and then put lines, tangents to those two circles. Okay, I'll just put external tangents to the two circles. So I'll use the circle tool. I'll use circle, center, and radius. Okay, center, radius. We can use center, diameter, and then 2-point, tangent, and so on. We will learn how to use these other ones with time. So circle, center, radius choose that one. I'm going to draw some circle here, and I want to specify the radius. Even here in the command window it says specify the radius of the circle or diameter. So if you type a figure, it will be for the radius. If you want to specify by diameter, then you have to type D. So you have those two options. So what I'll do first, I'll specify by radius. So I want the circle to have a radius of okay, let's see here, it should have a radius of say 20. Okay, so yeah, that is the size. Now I want to draw another circle, maybe a distance of 100, or the distance between the centers should be at 100. So what I will do now is choose the circle. Now the first task is to specify the center point for the circle, or other option, 3-point circle, 2-point circle, or another circle where you use turn and radius, but we are using the default option. So to specify the center, I want that circle, the next circle, its center should be a distance of 100 from the first circle. Okay, a horizontal distance of 100 millimeters from the first circle. So what I will do, since I can't locate the center, you go back to the Osnap setting and activate center, this one, this kind of center with a circle. Once it's active, come back here and simply highlight on the circumference of the circle, and that center will appear. Now go and focus in that center. Do not click, just focus, then try to move horizontally. So if you move horizontally, you type 100. So I'll simply type 100, hit enter. So yeah, now I've gotten my center. Now I want this one to have a radius of maybe 30. 30 might be too big. Okay, 30. So radius of 30, enter. Okay, so the distance between these two centers is 100. We can verify the distance by simply, you highlight the circumference and then the center appears. Same thing here, highlight the circumference, center appears. So center to center distance is 100. Perfect. So now we want to use the tangent. We want to draw a tangent here to there and here to there. Okay, so again, get the line tool, and now this is active, center, and so on, but we don't need that. So simply go back to the Osnap settings and look for this, make sure it's activated, come back here. Okay, so yeah, you have your line tool, and you can't draw a tangent to this circle because center still activated. So just simply come back here and deactivate center, then you'll be able to use tangent. I'll come back here and okay, for some reason I'm still getting interferences. Okay, that's done. So get the line tool, come back here. You should be able to see that symbol. It should say deferred tangent. So click, and yeah, so you have a tangent, so it goes all around the circle. So now you want it to be tangential to this other circle, so simply click there and hit escape. The same thing down here, tangent there and there, hit escape. Okay, so you have some kind of thing like that. Maybe we could make it more realistic if we wanted to. Okay, we could make it look more like an arm if we wanted to. Yeah, let me simply add another circle. And I'll still need this, so deactivate tangent, use circle center, and so from here a distance of maybe, okay, against the solve, let me just make it 70 or 80. Get the other center, and then we want to give it a radius of say 15, so type 15, enter, and we do the same thing, deactivate this, activate tangent, get the line tool, come back here, draw a tangent from there to there, escape, line tool, tangent from there to there, escape. Okay, so it kind of looks like a pulley system of some sort. I don't know what to call it. Okay, maybe we can call it a pulley system. Okay, yeah, we can look at it as a pulley system of some sort. Alright, yeah, so we can alternatively I can trim this. Okay, I'll just simply make a copy of this, only that alone. I'll put it here, modify it to make something different. Okay, so let's go ahead and modify this, type trim, enter. I just want to trim this and that, so we have a whole new shape. Okay, yeah, so we have a whole new shape. So we have this and that. Okay, right, so now I want to show you another kind of setting, the one where you have to the one which we call polar tracking. Okay, so for polar tracking we have this point here. Okay, this icon, the circle, and then some angle. So for more settings you can just click here and go to other settings. So I'm going to show you some quick settings. Okay, yeah, so the first setting I want to show you is this, track orthogonally only. This one, if you click OK, just click OK, and we're going to draw some random thing. So we start from here, going straight, go straight there, and then I'll try to go down like this, maybe end somewhere here. So I'm going to try to draw a rectangle. So if I track this point, then you see I have that green vertical line, and it's able to intersect with the horizontal green line. So I can simply click and then come back and also click here, look for the end point or the intersection. Okay, click. Okay, so we can do that, and we can only see that green point if it's vertical or horizontal, meaning we are tracking only orthogonally. Okay, yeah, so suppose suppose I extend this to this point, and I have a vertical green line along with my line tool. Okay, so I have that vertical green line, so I want to track this other point. So you see that constant horizontal green line to always stay, and then until I adjust the moving arm to whichever angle I need. So I want it to be at 180, so I can click there and continue there. Okay, so if we go ahead and change this to track using all polar angle settings. Okay, so now these are the angle settings. We want an incremental angle of 10. Okay, it means each time I see the green line appear, it means I've increased the angle by 10. So if you're tracking using all polar angle settings, it means you can you can actually snap at the intersection of all the angles that you have here, which are increasing by 10 degrees. That's basically what that means. Okay, so I'll show you here. Continue with this same object. Okay, so suppose I snap here. Now I want to track this point, so I can, before I could only track it diagonally, but now if I'm tracking all polar angles, it means I can move, I can decide. You can see endpoint, there's a caption saying endpoint 240, and then 170. Okay, suppose I want the horizontal line, the line that goes horizontal, to be at 180, then the one that is coming from the top to be drawn at an angle of 240 from, the counterclockwise, then that is what I'm getting. Okay. Okay, maybe a better example would be, let's try to draw something like a parallelogram. So let me just simply escape this, and if I come over here, get rid of this. If I come over here, I'll try to draw a parallelogram of some reasonable size. So get the line tool, and it's going to have a side of let's make it 80. Okay, and the opposite sides should have the angle in between is going to be, I'm not sure yet. Okay, I'm not sure yet. That is 40 degrees. So I want this angle to be so 180 minus 60, so that's 120. So I want that angle to be at 120, and the distance here should be okay, randomly, maybe let me just take this side, the length of this side to be 50, for instance. So let me just type 50. Okay, yeah. So now we are going to complete the other two sides without having to measure any distance. So that's where polar tracking helps. So you can go, we know that the other side has to be prior to the downer side, and there's another side here that is prior to this side. So we just simply move this side and track this point, and now make sure one angle is, so we have to do some quick math. So the horizontal line is at 180, and then this other line should be at 60 actually. So we keep tilting until we get the 60. So we have 180 and 60. Okay, so the other line, the one where the caption endpoint starts from, says 60, but where we're coming from is 180. So we are tracking these two angles, 180 and 60. So where the intersection is where you click, then come and simply join to that point. Okay, that endpoint. Now we can press escape. So we have a parallelogram. So we can prove that these sides are equal by simply using the measure. Just measure the distance. First this one and this is 80, same as what we got here. And then this one we chose 50. Okay, so the opposite face, sorry, the opposite side should also be 50. So from here to here, it also gives us 50. Okay, yeah, so we can draw using polar tracking settings. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video.